talk a bit about this pastor that was fired at Point Loma Nazarene for his objection to the church policy on gay marriage. This is a very interesting story. So, Selden D. Kelly led the Point Loma ministry for 17 years. He says, we need an open dialogue about this. Well, this popular pastor who led the San Diego First Church of the Nazarene for 17 years has lost his job because after penning an essay that disagrees with religious doctrine forbidding same-sex marriage. Wow. I mean, that's brave for him to come out and say this. Dean Nelson, a member of the First Church Board and director of the journalism program at Point Loma Nazarene University, said in an email Friday that Kelly continues to enjoy broad support from the congregation. And the people are supporting him on this. Pastor Kelly, or former Pastor Kelly, goes on to say, we need an open dialogue among the rank and file. We need the dialogue to be encouraged by leadership. But instead, leadership is saying, we don't want to talk about it. We don't support gay marriage. Kelly goes on to say, I'm unable to justify telling a couple who are in love with Christ and each other, seeking godly counsel and participating in the life of the church, that I must refuse them blessing and the participation in the sacrament of marriage. Doesn't this kind of blow you away? I mean, the whole idea of the New Testament is the teachings of Christ and loving thy neighbor. And here, the church wants to forbid two people that love each other and who also are Christian and love Christ from having a union. Now, granted, the church should have the right to make these decisions, but the decision is crazy, especially in light of what's going on in society now. I mean, the world has changed. Again, this is another shift that's been going on for decades. Even I changed on this. I mean, in the 1980s, I remember talking with my wife then. She was my girlfriend. And we were talking about gay marriage in the 1980s. And she asked me what I thought of it. And I was like, I don't know if that's really a good idea. Here I am with my Catholic upbringing kind of influencing the way I thought then. And then she said to me, she goes, why shouldn't two people that love each other be allowed to marry? And I couldn't object to that. I had no response because, of course, if people love each other and they want to get married, they're consenting adults and they should be able to get married. But it's weird that the church that professes love and professes that we should be kind to our neighbors, that we should turn the other cheek, and that we should celebrate the sanctity of marriage would deny marriage. Now, the Old Testament is Sodom and Gomorrah, an eye for an eye, but that's kind of the prehistory of Christianity, right? But a lot of that kind of rhetoric or a lot of that kind of hard edge commentary in the Old Testament isn't really so much in the New Testament. So it's strange that this is happening. And I find it kind of crazy. So there've been some other comments on this, but you ever been to Point Loma Nazarene University? What a great place that is. Going there, their baseball stadium, by the way, is fantastic. Like the best baseball stadium for a university that I've ever been to. My son played there. You look out over the left field wall, there's a cliff, and then there's the Point Loma. You go down the cliff and there's the sands and the waves along Point Loma. I mean, you literally hit a bomb over the left field fence. It goes into the ocean. It's great. What a great facility that is. It's a beautiful university too. It's obviously a very Christian university. And if that's the curriculum they want to have, so be it. But this just bums me out that they're banning or firing a pastor because he supports gay marriage. Now, an analysis of survey questions about LGBTQ rights found an overall increase in support of same-sex marriage, with 68% of 2022 respondents saying they favor allowing gay and lesbian couples to marry legally, compared to 54% in 2014. Now, the good news is they can marry legally. In the state of California, they can get a civil union. Because, at the most basic level, a marriage is simply a contract that binds two people together, and then it has conditions that if those two were ever to sever that contract and break up, then this is how property is divided and etc. And that can still be achieved with a civil union for same-sex couples. That's good. But religion adds obviously a whole other layer to this. So it's a sacrament. It brings God into the picture. But do we really know what God wants? I mean, some people claim to speak for God, and they know. But knowing everything that we know about Jesus, loving thy neighbor, I would find it hard to believe that he would object to that, to preventing two people from having a union in the eyes of God. So I don't know. This just shocks me. I mean, what do you think about this? Let me know in the live chat on Facebook or YouTube.